assign targets.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of ABC of AC3, and today we are on the letter C and I am about to be shot in the spine. Copycat, that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today, and we've got two other things to talk about because it's coming up to the Christmas season and Christmas begins with C, so I thought we should do the beautiful treatment of having a good number of things to talk about with C, and the aptly named The Good, The Bad and The Downright Bloody Ugly. That consists of the good copycat, the bad closure, and the downright ugly bill that's left over from crafting. And we're going to go through them. So first off, we have copycat, which you can see I've just used, resulting in me getting a bodyguard, a smoke bomb, and a pistol. Copycat I find to be one of, apart from blend, the most second useful perk. For a number of reasons. One, you get it in your default sets when you first start off. When you first start off in the game, especially if you're new to Assassin's Creed and AC3 is your first game, or even if you come from Revelations, this copycat perk will allow you to mix and match and test out other abilities that you don't have access to yet. The way copycat works is relatively simple. If you have the perk selected when you die, you have the ability to copy. You have the chance to copy the loadout of the person that killed you. Hence, that little gentleman who I just gunned down, I've just killed him with his own abilities. So, win-win all around. And yeah, you can use it definitely to a good advantage, and I absolutely love it. I've started using it a lot more often now, in particular because it allows me to get a feel for what other players are doing. As you'll see at least once, I think at least once in this video, you can, after someone's killed me, I can see what they're holding. So in a way, it's almost showing the cards at poker. I can see that you have smoke bomb and that you have poison, and that more often than not, if you have those two abilities, you're probably going to stick with them a lot. It's not a very big advantage, but it allows you just to get a little bit of a heads up on the people that you're dealing with if you're able to remember what abilities each of the players are using. I like to use it, and I use it for that reason, as well as the fact that now I'm not using smoke bomb as a constant. So using copycat will allow me to reach out and try different abilities, you know, and without actually going, oh, what shall I use? So again, I use it for two reasons, and then when you first start off in AC3, it does give you a bit of an advantage testing out other abilities that you might not necessarily want to buy, or you're a bit unsure about, because the last thing you want is to spend, especially during those early matches when you might not be winning them all or doing so well. Last thing you want is want to spend 40 credits on an ability like closure, which is absolutely pointless. So yeah, copycat allows you, especially for those new players, to play around with what abilities are available, especially if you're going against higher ranked players and other players who have these abilities. Bear that in mind. Now, a minute ago I just mentioned closure, which is the next ability. I find this to be the most pointless ability to ever be created on AC3. And, well, not just AC3, AC Revelations. I mean, in Revelations and AC3, I cannot figure out a good way to use closure. We know how it works. Well, if you don't, I'll just explain. The idea is that in default mode, I'm just going to talk about default mode. When you activate it, the chase breakers around you within 20 odd meters will close. This prevents any other players running through them, and then when you run towards them, they will open and close just for you, and no one else will be able to get through them. And on default mode, it works for about, I think it's 5 seconds. Yeah. This ability is absolutely effing pointless for a good number of reasons. One, it's mainly used for, you could use it to when you're chasing people down, but let's face it, when it comes to closure, there are so many alternate abilities which have more uses. For example, if you're chasing after someone, throwing knives. You know, if you're running away from someone, you've got so many other abilities. You've got bodyguard, decoy, smoke bomb, you know, firecrackers for blinding. There are so many other abilities that can be used just the same way as closure does. You know, closure is used to stop pursuers and stop people from running through those chase breakers. Fair enough, fair enough, like, oh, if someone runs through a chase breaker, closure would be good to open the chase breaker so you can chase after them. but you don't really get penalised that much for either one, climbing over a building, or two, just running around the corner. Especially if you've got them on lock, if you've got them locked, so you know if they're running left and right, so you can anticipate which way they're going to go, so you can run either left or right to match where they're going and hopefully intercept their path. Yeah, closure is absolutely freaking awful. It is pointless. It's one of those abilities that is why. Again, it costs 40 points to unlock, 40 credits to unlock, and I recommend you just save those 40 credits. But if you're seriously that desperate in bloody using it, and you need to craft, and you need to buy it, and you need to own it to unlock the set, fine. Don't craft it, because again, I'll go into crafting in a minute, because spending well-earned credits on crafting that thing is just an absolute waste. But I must say this just to cover all the bases. But if you are gonna cool it down, hey, just use to take a quote from Tier 1 Tactics. Just use it on the cooldown so you can waste an ability slot a lot more. That's what Tier 1 Tactics said, and ultimately I cannot think of a better comment other than that. If you're going to waste an ability slot, go right ahead. And to each his own, and waste an ability slot. Now, the final bit is the expensive. Now, my final part of this video is the expensive, which is the expensive crafting. My god, have they amped up the cost it takes to craft. Oh, well, there we go. They've just go back a minute. That one's just ran through a chase breaker. Yeah, they got away from me, big whoop, but I'm not that desperate to run after them because I've got a pursuer here. Running through a chase breaker is not that much of a big problem. It's more of a problem in something like Artifact Assault, but again, there are so many other ways to get around a chase breaker. You can run around them and climb. There's so many ways to get through a chase breaker. So, in a way, chase breakers are just normally a minor hindrance these days. Right. That last little extra bit on chase breakers and closure. Let's move on to the expensive to finish off this video. Now, crafting. As I've just previously said just then, crafting, my god, Ubisoft amped up the pricing on crafting. Originally, in Revelations, it was 80. It was just 80 Obstero credits, I believe. But then the way it turned out is that after so often, people had just run out of things to buy. They weren't interested in buying all the bloody pictures and all the patterns and all the crests and all that stuff. So they had money sitting there. And it just got the credits just got higher and higher, and I was one of them. So to compensate for this, one of the things that we've done is amped up the price of crafting. Now it's not 80, it's a whopping 800. Now 800 is a bloody lot. That's the equivalent of 5 matches, of winning 5 matches, and you level up in each match. It's 800 is quite a bit, especially in this new AC3 credit system. Fair enough, you can earn a decent amount of credits, but still 800 is pretty expensive considering that you can buy a good number of it. You can buy at least 2 or 3 abilities for that. But yeah, crafting, I'm going to do another separate video on crafting a little bit more, but just to go into it a little bit more, but I'm just going to give you a breakdown of some of my personal favourite crafts. First off, a crafting tip: when you are going to craft, make sure you know what you're crafting. I mean, the last thing you want is to accidentally craft an ability and then realise, oh crap, I've just wasted 800 points. So the tip that you should know is know exactly what you're going to craft. And for all you smoke bomb poisoners in the room, if you're going to use smoke bomb, you can craft it to long lasting, or you can craft the distance with the 2 points. And for you lovely poison people, without a shadow of a doubt, the one thing you're going to craft up is the bonus from 100 points to 300 points. That is just the way poisoners are. Right, well it's coming up to the end of the match. I've got an interesting double lure there. I think Bieber was trying to poison me, and then whoever she is killed me. So I got a double lure then on one NPC. That was interesting. I haven't seen that before, but there we go. Right, well, this is the end of ABC of AC3 Episode C. Episode 3, Letter C, whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got a bit of an insight. I'm going to do a second part to this for the crafting, so I can just go into it a little bit more. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. I hope you found this one interesting and entertaining. And I'll see you later. As always, look after yourself and be safe, and have a good one, guys. Bye bye.